The Haunted House of Hassetts, a Yorkshire legend. Tucked away on a lonely stretch of countryside in Yorkshire lies the House of Hassetts, an old crumbling mansion shrouded in mystery. Originally built in the early 1700s by the Hassett family, the house has changed hands many times over the centuries, yet it has never managed to shake its reputation of one of Yorkshire's most haunted homes. Stories of eerie apparitions, strange noises, and even dark rituals have surrounded the property for as long as anyone can remember, giving the House of Hassetts an ominous allure that few places can rival. Though it's not as well known as some of Yorkshire's famous haunted sites, locals swear by the legends surrounding the house. For years, daring souls who ventured into the house at night have reported ghostly encounters. Many who have attempted to live there have left quickly, convinced that something dark lingers in its halls. Even skeptics find themselves unsettled by the tales, unable to completely dismiss the accounts of eerie happenings in this old mansion. One of the most persistent stories about the House of Hassett centres on the Lady in Black, a sorrowful apparition that has been seen wandering the halls and grounds on the estate. According to legend, she was once a member of the Hassett family, a young woman named Eleanor, who was promised in marriage to a wealthy but cruel nobleman. When her heart was broken, she withdrew from the world and spent her days confined to her room in the grand house, rarely seen and often heard weeping in solitude. She lived out her life in the house, her grief casting a shadow over its walls that many believe endures to this day. Eleanor's ghost is said to appear at dusk, moving slowly through the house's upper rooms, often staring out the window as if searching for something just beyond her reach. Witnesses claim she's dressed in an old-fashioned black gown, with a veil that covers her face. Those who've seen her describe a sense of profound sadness that seemed to radiate from her. A few visitors even report hearing soft sobs echoing through the hallways, particularly on a quiet, stormy night when the wind seems to carry her mournful cries through the old hollow corridors of the house. One visitor claimed he encountered the lady in black while exploring the house with a group of friends. As they walked through one of the empty rooms, he felt a sudden chill and turned to see a woman in a black gown standing by the window, her veil partially lifted to reveal hollow, sorrowful eyes. The figure faded before he could say a word, but he left the house that night convinced he had seen Eleanor herself. The east wing of the House of Hassetts has a darker history still. In the 19th century, the mansion briefly served as a small orphanage run by a distinct branch of the Hassett family. Unfortunately, the orphanage was underfunded and poorly mismanaged, and several children fell ill under the harsh conditions. Locals say some children didn't survive and that their restless spirits continue to wander the east wing, drawn to the only home they ever knew. Visitors to the east wing report hearing children's laughter and footsteps when no one else is around, toys left in the rooms, some of which are believed to be original artifacts from the orphanage's days, seem to move on their own. Many claim to have heard small footsteps running through the hallways late at night, or the faint sound of children playing, only for the sounds to stop abruptly as soon as anyone attempts to investigate. A few have even claimed to see shadowy figures darting through the dimly lit rooms, as if the children's spirits are still at play, eternally young and unable to leave. One caretaker reported an experience he had while cleaning a room in the east wing. He heard giggling behind him and turned to find a small wooden ball rolling across the floor. He was alone in the room, and there was no signs of anyone else present. Convinced that the spirit of a child was nearby, he left the east wing and never returned. Among the many ghostly legends associated with the House of Hassetts, the cursed mirror is perhaps the most unsettling. Said to have been brought over from Europe by one of the original Hassetts, this antique mirror has been linked to a number of strange incidents over the years. The mirror, set in an ornate gilded frame, is mounted in the main hallway. Over time, those who have dared to look into it claim to have seen figures standing just beside them, figures that disappear when they turn around. Some who have looked into the mirror claim they've seen a figure that resembles Eleanor, the lady in black, staring back at them, her face twisted in sorrow or anger. Others have seen faces they don't recognize at all, pale, somber figures dressed in old fashioned clothing, their expressions full of longing or rage. A few witnesses even report feeling a strange compulsion to touch the mirror, as if an unseen force is trying to draw them closer. One housekeeper new to the job was reportedly terrified after an encounter with the mirror. She saw a shadowy figure in it that she did not recognize. A tall man dressed in dark clothing, his face expressionless but his eyes piercing. When she turned to confront the figure, she found herself alone in the hallway. She quit the job immediately, unable to shake the feeling that something sinister was watching her. Beyond the specific apparitions, the House of Hassetts is also plagued by a multitude of strange sounds that have been reported by nearly everyone who steps inside. Footsteps echo through empty halls at all hours of the night, and doors open and close on their own. Some have heard voices murmuring in empty rooms and faint music as if from a long gone era sometimes floats through the air. Now, one former owner of the house, hoping to disprove the ghost stories, installed recording equipment in several rooms. Over the course of several nights, he captured hours of unexplained sounds, footsteps, faint whispers, and even what sounded like someone humming an old lullaby. He sold the house shortly afterward, unable to explain the recordings and no longer willing to test the spirit's patience. Some visitors report feeling an oppressive atmosphere in certain parts of the house, particularly in the upper floors where Eleanor's spirit is said to roam. Others feel an inexplicable chill in the cellar, a place what seems to harbour a darker, more malevolent energy. Many leave with the sensation that they are not alone, as if unseen eyes are watching their every move. Today, the House of Hassetts remains vacant, its walls slowly decaying, its windows dark and watchful. Locals who live nearby say sometimes that they see lights flickering on and off, even though nobody lives there. The house draws paranormal investigators and ghost hunters, some of whom have reported capturing strange phenomena on camera or audio. Skeptics and believers alike are drawn to the house, but few dare to linger after dark. Those who venture into the House of Hassetts leave with a new respect for its reputation, convinced that its ghostly legends are more than just stories. The Lady in Black, the Phantom Children, the Cursed Mirror, and the strange, relentless noises are all part of a legacy that refuses to be forgotten. It's said that the house itself remembers all who have passed through its doors, holding their memories within its walls, refusing to let them rest. For those who come seeking proof of the paranormal, the House of Hassetts offers no easy answers, only the unnerving feeling that the past is closer than they might wish, lingering like a shadow, waiting to be seen.